The silent cry. Dr. Maya Chen floated in the observation dome of the research station Galileo's Promise, watching distant nebulae paint the darkness in shades of violet and gold. At 34, she devoted her life to finding answers among the stars, perhaps because the questions on Earth had become too painful. Her divorce 3 months ago felt like another lifetime. Still brooding? Lieutenant James Rivera's voice broke through her thoughts. He drifted into the dome, his athletic frame moving with the practiced ease of someone who'd spent years in zero gravity. I prefer contemplating, Maya replied with a slight smile. James had been her friend since their academy days, the one constant through every upheaval in her life. She'd never told him that sometimes, late at night, she wondered if she'd been looking for love in the wrong places all along. Well, contemplate this. He handed her a data pad. We picked up something weird 2 hours ago. Xenobiology thinks you should see it. Maya's dark eyes scanned the readings, then widened. This is a structured signal. Repeating pattern, mathematical progression. Her fingers flew across the interface. James, this is intelligent. This is first contact, he finished quietly. Maybe. The signal originated from a system 8 light-years away, close enough to investigate with their experimental full drive. Close enough to matter. The message itself was simple once decoded, a plea for help, coordinates, and something that translated roughly as, dying. Protocol says we report this to command, James said, but she could hear the hesitation in his voice. Maya turned to him, finding his brown eyes already watching her with that intensity he sometimes showed when he thought she wasn't looking. Protocol says a lot of things. How long would it take command to authorize an investigation? Weeks. Maybe months. And how long does whoever sent this have? They both knew the answer. The signal's desperation was mathematical, universal, unmistakable. I could plot a course, James said slowly. Technically, we're authorized for deep space exploration within our sector. Technically, Maya echoed, a slight smile playing at her lips. If we're going to violate protocols together, Maya, I should probably tell you something first. He caught her hand, his touch warm even through their station suits. I've been waiting for the right moment for 10 years. I don't think I can wait anymore. Before she could respond, the alarm klaxons shattered the moment. The signal had changed, growing more urgent, more desperate. Whatever was happening out there, they were running out of time. Maya squeezed his hand once, firmly. Hold that thought. Let's go save someone first. First encounter. The fold space transition left Maya's stomach churning, but her mind was already racing ahead. Through the viewport of their scout ship Meridian, the planet Keeler 9 hung like a sapphire teardrop against the void. Beautiful, except for the 6 angular warships that orbited it like predatory insects. Krell Empire vessels, James identified, his hands steady on the controls despite the tension in his jaw. Military configuration. This just got a lot more complicated. Maya's sensors painted a grim picture. The planet's atmosphere was being systematically poisoned, and 15,000 life signs clustered in what remained of habitable zones. They're terraforming. Converting the atmosphere to something else. Permission to get us the hell out of here? James asked, though he made no move to change course. Denied. Maya's voice was soft but firm. Get us closer. I need better readings. As they approached, a new transmission cut through their systems. The voice was like wind chimes and water, musical and desperate. The translation matrix struggled before producing words, please. We are the Seraphim. We mean no harm. Please help us. The screen flickered, and Maya's breath caught. The being before them was humanoid but ethereal, with skin that seemed to shimmer with internal light, pale gold and silver flowing beneath translucent surfaces. Large, luminous eyes dominated a delicate face, and when the being moved, it was with an impossible grace. I am Lyrian, speaker for the fallen city of Marith. The seraphim's voice carried notes of profound sadness. The Krell want our world. They care nothing that we live here. Maya leaned forward. How long do you have? 2 of your days before the atmosphere becomes lethal to us. Our children. Lyrian's eyes seemed to dim. They will die first. James cursed softly. Maya, we can't fight 6 warships. We're a research vessel. Then we don't fight. She was already working, her fingers dancing across multiple displays. We adapt. Lyrian, can you send us your biological data? Atmospheric requirements, toxin vulnerabilities. Yes, but why would you risk yourselves for strangers? Maya met those alien eyes and saw something universally recognizable, hope warring with despair. Because someone has to. Because you asked. Because it's the right thing to do. After Lyrian's image faded, James pulled the ship into the shadow of Keeler 9's moon. In the cramped cockpit, he turned to Maya, their knees touching in the confined space. I meant what I started to say before, he said quietly. Every mission we've flown together, every discovery we've shared, Maya, I've been in love with you since you argued with Professor Hendricks about the Drake equation in our 2nd year. Maya felt her heart hammer. James, You don't have to say anything now. But if we're about to do something incredibly dangerous and possibly stupid, I needed you to know. His hand found hers again. You're the bravest person I've ever met. And the most brilliant. And I'm tired of pretending I don't want to wake up next to you every morning for the rest of my life. She kissed him then, sudden and fierce, pouring 10 years of missed opportunities into that moment. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. We're definitely doing something dangerous and stupid, Maya whispered against his lips. But let's make sure we survive it. I have plans for you, Lieutenant Rivera. His grin was bright enough to rival the stars outside. Yes, ma'am. The proximity alarm shattered their moment. A Krell patrol ship had detected them. Time for talk was over. Time for action had begun. Bonds under fire. The Meridian skimmed through Keeler 9's upper atmosphere, using the ionization to mask their approach. Maya had designed a desperate plan, land near the Seraphim city, analyze their biology, and synthesize a compound to neutralize the Krell toxins. Simple in theory. Suicidal in practice. Approaching drop zone, James announced, his voice steady despite the ship shaking around them. Krell ground forces detected. This is going to be tight. They landed in a crystalline forest where the trees seemed to sing in the wind, a haunting harmony that made Maya's chest ache. Through the toxic haze, the Seraphim city glowed, bioluminescent structures that pulsed with soft light, now flickering like dying stars. Lyrian met them at the landing site with a small group of Seraphim. Up close, their beauty was even more striking. They moved like dancers, their luminescent skin painting patterns in the gloom. You came, Lyrian breathed, wonder in those vast eyes. You actually came. We don't leave people behind, James said, checking his weapon. Even people we just met. Maya set up her portable lab while James and his 2 security drones established a perimeter. The Seraphim watched with curious fascination as she worked, their musical voices whispering among themselves. Your species is very different from ours, Lyrian observed, kneeling beside Maya. You are more solid. Dense. Like you carry the weight of your world in your very bones. We come from a heavier planet, Maya explained, not looking up from her analysis. Higher gravity, harsher conditions. Her screen showed promising results. Lyrian, your people's bioluminescence, it's not just for light, is it? It is our communication, our art, our connection to each other. Lyrian's skin pulsed with subtle patterns. Through light, we share thoughts, emotions, memories. We are never truly alone. Maya felt a pang of longing. That sounds beautiful. And lonely, your way sounds to us. To be trapped in one's own thoughts, unable to share the light within. Lyrian's hand hovered near Maya's, not quite touching. Yet you came across the stars to save strangers. Perhaps your way of sharing light is different, but no less bright. An explosion rocked the ground. James's voice crackled through the calm, Krell forces incoming, 3 minutes out. Maya, whatever you're doing, speed it up. She worked frantically, Lyrian's luminescence providing additional illumination. The solution crystallized in her mind. The Seraphim's bioluminescent properties could be weaponized, converted into a photocatalytic reaction that would break down the Krell toxins. I need volunteers, Maya said urgently. This might hurt. We trust you, Lyrian said simply, and a dozen Seraphim stepped forward without hesitation. The first energy blast hit nearby, and James appeared, blood seeping through his suit's left arm. They're here. Maya's hands shook as she extracted the luminescent compounds. James, you're hurt. I'm fine. Keep working. But he swayed, and she caught him. In that moment, with alien weapons fire lighting the sky and a dying civilization counting on her, Maya held James close. Don't you dare die on me. Not after that kiss. Not after everything. He smiled weakly. Wouldn't dream of it. You still have those plans, remember? Lyrian watched them with knowing eyes. Love, the Seraphim said softly, is the same light in every language. The price of courage. The battle raged around them as Maya synthesized the compound, her hands steady despite the chaos. The Krell forces were unlike anything in human experience, towering silicon-based warriors that moved with grinding, mechanical precision. Their weapons fired superheated plasma that turned sand to glass. James commanded the defense with 2 security drones and 5 Seraphim volunteers who refused to hide. His injured arm hung uselessly, but his aim remained true. Each shot bought Maya precious seconds. Compound ready, she announced, loading it into atmospheric dispersal canisters. But I need to reach higher ground for effective distribution. The Singing Tower, Lyrian said, pointing to a spire at the city's heart. It is the tallest structure. That's half a kilometer through active combat, James protested. Maya, I can't. You can't walk that far with that injury, she finished. I know. That's why Lyrian and I are going together. The Seraphim's eyes widened. I am not a warrior. Neither am I. But we're what we've got. Maya shouldered the dispersal pack, her xenobiology training never having included military tactics. James, hold this position. We'll be back in 20 minutes. He grabbed her arm, pulled her close despite the pain it caused him. Maya Chen, if you don't come back to me, I swear I'll. She kissed him, fierce and quick. I'm coming back. We have a lifetime to make up for. The run to the Singing Tower was a nightmare of energy blasts and collapsing structures. Lyrian's luminescence flickered with fear, but the Seraphim never faltered, guiding Maya through hidden passages and ancient shortcuts. Why do you risk so much for us? Lyrian asked as they climbed the tower's spiraling interior. We are nothing to your people. You're everything, Maya panted. You're proof we're not alone. Proof that intelligence, beauty, and compassion exist throughout the universe. She grabbed Lyrian's hand, feeling the strange coolness of alien skin. You're worth saving. Every single one of you. They reached the tower's apex as the Krell forces broke through James's position. Maya could see him below, still fighting despite his wounds, buying her time with his life. Please work, she whispered, activating the dispersal system. The compound erupted in a brilliant cascade, spreading through the atmosphere like liquid starlight. Where it touched the Krell toxins, the chemical reaction created a spectacular display, auroras of green and gold that danced across the sky. And slowly, impossibly, the air began to clear. Lyrian's luminescence blazed with joy, patterns of celebration racing across translucent skin. You did it. You saved us. But Maya was already running back down, her heart in her throat. James had collapsed, his suit's medical system screaming warnings. She reached him as the Krell forces retreated, their terraforming plan ruined. "James, stay with me. James." His eyes fluttered open, found hers. "Did it work?" "Yes." "You crazy, brave idiot, yes." Tears streamed down her face. "Don't you dare leave me now." Lyrian knelt beside them, placing luminescent hands on James's wound. "Perhaps I can help. We seraphim heal through shared light." The glow intensified, and James gasped as the pain receded. "Not healed completely, but stabilized." "Enough." "Thank you," Maya whispered to Lyrian, then kissed James again, properly this time, pouring every emotion into it. Around them, the Seraphim city's lights began to strengthen, no longer flickering. They had one new dawn. 3 days later, Maya stood in the restored gardens of Merith, watching the Seraphim children play among the singing trees. The atmosphere had fully stabilized, and the Krell Empire had withdrawn, their forces no match for the combined determination of humans and Seraphim working together. James approached, his arm in a regenerative sling but his smile bright. "The meridian is repaired. Earth Command is, less than thrilled with our unauthorized first contact, but they can't argue with the results." "Are we in trouble?" Maya asked, though she found she didn't particularly care. "Probably. But they're sending a diplomatic vessel. Official first contact mission." He slipped his good arm around her waist. "They want us to stay as liaisons until they arrive. I can think of worse assignments." She leaned into him, feeling the solid warmth of his presence. 3 days of working side by side, of snatched moments between diplomatic sessions and medical treatments, had only deepened what had begun in that desperate kiss before battle. Lyrian found them there, the Seraphim's luminescence now vibrant and strong. "I came to say farewell, though you remain on our world. The Maya and James who fought beside us will soon become Ambassador Chen and Ambassador Rivera." The distance of formality. "Never," Maya said firmly. "You'll always be the first person from the stars I called friend." Lyrian's patterns shifted to something that looked like sadness mixed with joy. "We Seraphim mate for life, did you know? When we find our light match, the one whose luminescence complements our own, we bind ourselves forever." Those vast eyes studied Maya and James with ancient wisdom. "I see such a bond between you. Different biology, same truth. You are each other's light." After Lyrian departed, James turned Maya to face him fully. "So, about those plans you mentioned." "I was thinking," Maya said, running her fingers along his jaw, "that maybe we've spent enough time looking at stars from a distance. Maybe it's time to build something here. Together. A life. A future. Here, on Earth, wherever we're needed. As long as we're together." She kissed him softly. "I wasted 10 years being blind to what was right in front of me. I don't want to waste another moment. Dr. Chen, are you proposing to me? Would you say yes, Lieutenant Rivera?" His kiss was answer enough, deep and tender and full of promise. Around them, the Seraphim gardens sang in harmonies that transcended language, celebrating love in its universal form. Epilogue. 6 months later, the joint Human Seraphim Research Station orbited Keeler 9, a symbol of cooperation between species. Dr. Maya Rivera, she'd taken his name, a human custom that fascinated the Seraphim, led the Xenobiology division while her husband commanded security operations. At night, they would stand in the observation dome, the same place where everything had changed, and watch both Earth and Keeler 9 turn in their distant dances. "Do you ever regret it?" James asked, holding her close. "Breaking protocol, risking everything?" Maya touched the ring on her finger, simple human gold inscribed with Seraphim light script that translated to shared light. "Not for a second. We proved something important that day. That humans can be heroes. That love and courage sound the same in any language." She turned in his arms, her eyes bright. And that sometimes, the best discoveries are the ones we make in each other. Their kiss was witnessed by two worlds, two species, and infinite possibilities. The universe had called. Humanity had answered. And in answering, had found not just new friends among the stars, but themselves.